Hey guys, welcome to the Persistent Entrepreneur Podcast. And today I'm going to do something special that I haven't done yet. I'm going to go through the 14 rules of success with you. Now, 13 of these rules I had got from Grant Cardone. Obviously, I added my own spin to some of them, put my own little touch on some of them, but some of it as well. I want to make sure I did give the credit. And then his was the 13 rules of success, and I actually added the 14th rule of success. So I'm going to go through them. I want to go fairly quickly through the 14 rules, but I also am live here on. I decided I would go live on Clubhouse. I haven't done that in ages, so if anybody has questions or people want to come up, I will definitely be open to that. We also have we're going live stream on X and YouTube, y'all. So if we're not connected on X yet or YouTube, you can find me on both channels. My handler is always David I. Hill. That's it, David I. Hill. And you can get me on X, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all the same. All right, so here we are, 14 rules of success. And rule number one is my favorite. Well, they're all my favorite, but rule number one is where you got to start. So here it is right here. Number one, show up. Guys, listen, show up. That's it. Everything starts with showing up. You cannot do anything. You cannot achieve anything. You're going to struggle if you don't first show up. Now, what is show up? Well, for me, it starts in the morning when my clock goes off. When the alarm goes off in the morning, what am I doing? Am I going to hit the snooze button 5 times? Or am I going to jump up out of bed and say, hey, it's time to attack my day? Because I'll tell you what, when we hit the snooze button, essentially what we're doing is we're saying, I've already given up on my goal before I even got out of bed. Because if you remember, before you went to bed, what did you do? You set a goal. Your goal was, this is the time I'm going to wake up in the morning. Now, think about that. And that, by the way, that's from Mel Robbins being on my podcast. She was on my podcast and she shared that with me. I thought it was brilliant. But listen, I set the time. So now I'm not saying, like, I'm not the guy that's like, every morning you got to wake up at 4:30. Although I think that's a good time to wake up. What I am saying is, whatever time you set your clock for, your alarm for the night before, is when you should get up. Because if I set my alarm for 5 o'clock and then it goes off and I hit the snooze button 3 times, I've just essentially said, you know what? I set that goal last night to wake up at 5, but that's not really important. Now, who wants to start their day like that? Nobody. If you want to start your day like that, drop something in the chat. Or if you're following me, drop something in the chat, right? Because come on now, you're creating your day, okay, the night before. That's what I'm telling you right now. It all starts when you show up in the morning. Now, there's a lot more to show up to that, but I want to keep this really short. And so I'm going to jump to number 2. One other thing, though, before I jump to number 2, is I want you to think about the 80-20 principle. The 80-20 principle is, it's 80% of your results are going to come from 20% of the things that you do, the actions that you take, right? 88. If you every industry, 80% of the business is done by 20% of the salespeople. In some industries, it's 90-10 or even 95-5. I'm in real estate. I think it's like 95-5 in real estate. And so in wealth, 80% or 90% of the wealth in the world is held by 10% of the population. So, I mean, it shows up everywhere. So the reason I'm telling you this is because I want you to realize that as you're showing up, there's going to be things that you need to prioritize. Okay. There's going to be things that you should be showing up for and prioritizing. And then other things you're like, oh man, that's just not a priority to me. So number 1, show up. I want to bring you to number 2 quickly. Okay. Number 2, the 100% philosophy. Now, this is super cool. I want to talk to you about showing up 100%. Now, not just showing up. Like I told you, show up. Yes, you got to show up. Super important, super critical. It's all in how we show up. But listen, man, talk about showing up the right way. Did you get a good night's sleep? Are you rested? Do you have good energy? Okay. Are you dressed well? Are your clothes pressed? Are your fingernails clean? Is your beard manicured right? Is your breath in order? Do you understand what I'm saying? Are your shoes polished? Are you prepared for the meeting? This is what I'm talking about 100%. This is the mental difference right now, what we're talking about. The mental difference. How's your energy? You're going on a meeting, you're going to meet with somebody, really important client. Before you went to meet with that person, did you think about, hey, these are the objections that they're going to give me? These are the challenges that I will probably deal with as I'm meeting with this person. This is the difference, y'all. Because listen, a lot of you going to show up. I get it. I said you got to show up, number one. But when you show up 100%, that's the next level. Meaning, I am showing up absolutely prepared. What up, Michael Miller? I see you on the chat there. I am showing up absolutely 100% prepared, ready to go. No excuses, man. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So, number 2, 100% philosophy. All right. Got to number 3 now. You ready? Ready for number 3? Ready for number 3. Attitude of service. Attitude of service. Give, give, give. How's your attitude? Are you coming from a place of, man, I just want to take? Are you a taker? Or are you actually looking to provide value for people? Are you looking to give? When I approach people as a salesperson, what I'm doing is I'm trying to figure out what problem they have and how am I the solution to that problem. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is about giving, because you all know that the more you give, it just comes back to you, right? When you give, it comes back. I remember years ago, the pastor at our church, this is, gosh, I didn't grow up in church. I didn't do a lot of church when I was younger. My wife and I started going to church probably about 14, 15 years ago. And we went to church and we weren't accustomed to tithing. Like some of y'all might know what I'm talking about when it comes to tithing. You're giving your 10%. And I remembered we were at a time, it was like 2000 and what was that? 15, yeah, about 2010. The real estate market was a little funky, right? We were kind of coming out of the REO market. And I remember the pastor was telling us to really dig deep. I want you guys to dig deep and give. And I said, man, I don't know. But we did. And the wildest thing happened. So I gave the most I've ever given to a tithe. And then the next day when I showed up in my office, I got a call from somebody that was like, hey, I found this property. Can you show it to me? And I actually want to buy it. I was like, no way. And then I made a call to somebody else that I hadn't talked to in ages. And he said, hey, I've got 13 condominium units. And we're doing this project. Do you think you can help me? I was like, yeah, of course I can help you. Why? Now listen, I believe that that's how God works. If you don't believe me, try it out. So I'm not just talking about tithing though. I'm talking about coming from a place of contribution, like really coming from a place of service where your goal is to help another human being. So come from an attitude of service. You can't lose, by the way. If you're like me and you're like one of those people that doesn't mind like cold calling people, like, so I still cold call people. I call people that have homes on the market that didn't sell or that are trying to sell a house themselves, or I do trade shows and I just go talk to people because I go to businesses and I train with the sales teams and I help them with customer acquisition. So I always am talking to people, but I'm not talking to them like, hey, about me. Like I'm trying to figure out what is the problem you're having so that I can bring a solution to you. My goal is to help you solve the problem that you're dealing with. Okay, number 4, right here on the screen, guys. By the way, if you want to follow along with me, there's a link up on the top. You can click on that. It'll bring you right into my X where I'm streaming live. By the way, if you do that, make sure you follow me and let's connect on X. But go check that out if you want to see. But number 4, focus on your dreams. This is about having goals, dreams, and I like to write them down. I'll tell you one of the things I really learned from Grant. Probably one of the biggest things I learned from Grant was he said, write your goals in the morning and then again at night. Isn't that cool? Like every day, write your goals out in the morning and then again at night. So for me, from my real estate brokerage, our main goal this year is we want to close 100 transactions. 100 transaction sides this year is our goal. So that means we need to help at least 100 people, okay, purchase, sell, buy, invest, whatever it is in a property. So I'm super clear on that. So every morning when I leave my house, when I get up, I focus on that goal and I look, okay, what are the things? And I already know the numbers. I know all the numbers, but I'm focused on those dreams, those goals. So I have my numbers written down. I have my targets written down. I know how much money I need to make per day. I need to make $4,558.70 per day for 300 days. And then I know I hit my $1 million for the year. Okay. I know my daily goal. Okay. I want to practice. I want to practice my conversations. I want to practice scripts. I know how much money I need to add. Okay. I know how much money I need to add to my personal accounts because we want to do things with our family too, right? We want to do vacations. We want to spend time with the kids. I have date night with my wife, date night with the kids, all this stuff. My daughter Samar's birthday party is coming up this weekend. We're having a nice party for her. How do we do that? Because we focus on our dreams and our goals and we put all that stuff down on paper first. You understand what I'm saying? So now we know. I'm not just out there working so I can make a few bucks and make some money. For what? And by the way, I do invest in crypto, by the way, Bitcoin specifically. So yeah, I want to buy a certain amount of Bitcoin as well. That's part of it. So number 4. So number 1, let me go through them real quick. Number 1, show up. As a matter of fact, let me go back to sharing my screen. So number 1, show up. Okay. We talked about that in the morning, starts in the morning, starts the night before, as a matter of fact. Number 2, right, is the 100% philosophy, meaning I got to show up 100%. I'm not showing up 90%. I'm not showing up 80%. I'm not even showing up 99.9%. I'm talking 100%. Number 3, attitude of service means I'm coming from contribution. My goal is to give. My goal is to provide value. That's it. Attitude of service. And then number 4, focus on your dreams. Okay. Number 5 is exercise. Y'all, you didn't expect this one, did you? Got to take care of that body. Got to take care of that body. You got to exercise. Take care of me. So I remember being part of Gary Keller's mastermind years ago. Gary, hey, V, look at V online. What's up, V? Feel free to come in if you want. All right. By the way, if anybody wants to join me, I actually can share a link with you where you can join me on the live stream. All right. So take care of your body, exercise, fitness, critical. Years ago, I was in Gary Keller's mastermind. Gary was a mentor of mine for years. I was fortunate enough to be able to do 4 events a year with Gary because I was in the top 100 at Keller Williams. And one of the things that he said to all of us, though, that always stuck with me is he says, if you don't take care of your body, where are you going to live? Think about that. Like it's so simple, but yet it's profound. If you don't take care of your body, where are you going to live? Like it's not a trick question. Y'all, it's not a trick question. Like I have to take care of my body. You understand what I'm saying? Now, exercise, fitness, just do something, man. So I know we're all in different places right now with fitness. Like I do triathlons, I do Ironman races. I do that type of stuff. You don't have to do that. Maybe you just go to the gym, 3 days a week and walk and eat right. Right. And take in the right amount of food and don't overeat on junk food. And this is what I'm talking about. Sleep. It's all connected because if you're not taking care of your body in your energy unit, as it says, as Grant said, your energy unit, then how are you going to show up the right way? How are you going to show up 100%? You can't. So what I do, and when I work with people, I encourage everybody to have an exercise routine. Something. I don't care what it is. Again, for some people, you want to do 5 days a week? Great. Do 5 days a week. Do 7 days a week. Do 3 days. I don't care, but do something consistently so that your body's moving, you're getting motion, you're fit, you're getting the fitness that you need. And here's the thing, it actually permeates through your whole body because when you're working out then all of a sudden mentally you're like, well, if I'm working out, I want to eat better, right? Like I don't really want to eat junk food if I'm working out. So then what happens? Like, well, if I'm working out and I'm eating better, well, you know what? I mean, I don't know. It doesn't really make sense to stay up late watching TV, right? I might as well go get my sleep. You understand what I'm saying? So it all works together, y'all. Exercise, take care of your energy unit. All right. Number six is going to be food is fuel. It goes right with number 5. Be careful what you're eating. Be careful what you're putting in your body. Healthy, stop healthy. Like, listen, I get it. Sometimes you're on the run. Like I remember when I first got my real estate license, I mean, I sometimes would forget to eat lunch. I was like that much into it. I would forget to eat lunch. But I mean, listen, you can stop at a Subway, grab a salad, grab a I don't know, tuna sandwich or a turkey sandwich without all the extra fixings on it. It doesn't, I mean, I'm not saying go over the top, like you always eat like the most healthiest thing in the world. Just stay away from the junk food. Like you don't need to stop at McDonald's every day. You don't need to have carrot cake for lunch in king size Snickers bars, which by the way was my diet when I was a kid, but I was so active it didn't even affect me. But listen, as we get older, right, it's even more important that we take care of our body, and we can feel, like for me, I can feel what I put in my body. It's funny. There's a story that's always going around at Grant's headquarters. Of when the salespeople that do the best, they have the healthiest lunches, right? Like, and then like think about it. You're making calls, and then you stop to take a break, and you go out and you have yourself like a foot long steak and cheese grinder, and then you come back. Man, you can't make calls anymore. The only thing you want to do is take a nap, right? But if you go out, you have a nice salad, maybe some vegetables, maybe something healthy, a nice meal. You come back, you still got that nice energy. So food is fuel. Use it as fuel. All right. And if you really want to see how food is fuel works, sign up for like an Ironman race like I did, and you'll see what happens when your body runs out of energy, hence runs out of food. I experienced that halfway through the run part, and it's not pretty, but you get a better understanding of how important food is to your body in energy. All right, number 7. I'm going to bring you to number 7 now. Okay, number 7, all critically important. You got to change your attitude. Change your attitude. Now, changing your attitude, and a lot of times it starts with self-talk. What are you saying to yourself? What kind of things do you say to yourself? Are you even aware of what you're saying to yourself? I mean, do you have awareness? I mean, some people do, some don't. Like listen to the little voice. The little voice that the little voice that just said, what little voice? That's exactly the one I'm talking about. That little voice that you just said, what little voice? Yeah, that one that says things. Is it saying positive things to you, or is it saying negative things to you? Think about like golf. Any other golfers in the house? If you're a golfer, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like you focus. So if you're a golfer and you're hitting a ball off a tee and there's a water on the left side of you, like there's a lake on the left side of you, if you focus on the lake, okay, you may not want to go in the lake, right? But you're trying, you're kind of trying not to look at it, but really you're thinking about it. Oh man, I don't want to go in the lake. 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 I don't want, right? And then you pull the club back and you take the swing and poof, and it's like boom, and the ball flies out there, and then it does like a left turn right into the lake, right? You're like, damn, it went in the lake. Why? Because you were so focused on the lake. Even though you're saying, I don't want to go in the lake, I don't want to. You were so focused on the lake, you couldn't even help it. How about if you're focused on, I'm going to put the ball right next to the hole. Right? I'm going to put the ball right next to that tree over. Like, it's what you focus on, guys. We have to change our attitude. How do you do this? Some great ways to do that. Meditation, have a routine, going back to the routines we've been talking about. Get up early. I get up early. I journal. I do my scripture in the morning. I read some verses. I meditate. I go to the gym. I stretch. Sometimes I listen to music. Other times I just listen. I don't listen to anything. So those are the types of things that will help you with your attitude. It's self-belief. Some of us we all have limiting beliefs, right? We all have those limiting beliefs, and some of us are very aware of them, and other of us are not so aware of them. So I really challenge you and I encourage you to start working on a routine for yourself, for your mindset, for your self-talk, for your focus, for your attitude. Because in order to get success, you first have to change your attitude. This could probably be number one, but I don't want to make it number one, because sometimes if we make this number one, people are like, well, hold on, I got to fix that first. So that's why I'm saying just show up. If you keep showing up enough, your attitude, and you focus on this, your attitude will change. All right. So show up first, and then we'll focus on our attitude. Okay. So this one rolls right into that. Number 8, personal growth. Focus on continuous learning, personal growth, doing things that are putting you in places where you get to learn, which is reading books, going to productive events, attending different training courses, working on getting better at whatever it is, your craft, what you're doing. Maybe like for me, I've been spending the last couple of years of my life, I've always been in sales. I've always been a sales guy, 36 years, understand sales like nobody else, right? But the last 4 or 5 years of my life, I really spent a lot more time and energy understanding marketing, and really focus on the marketing side of the business as well. So now I can combine them both, because I want to get better in that area. So to me, that's personal growth. Studying right now, new trends, AI, y'all. If you're not studying AI, you are missing out. You better get to know AI. And I'm not talking about just, hey, writing emails with ChatGPT. Okay, everybody can do that, but the AI agents are coming. There's agents right now that can make outbound phone calls. You may even have been talking to an AI agent, not even realize it. So what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on the trends, growth, personal growth? What books are you reading? What courses are you taking? What events are you attending? What kind of investment are you making in yourself? Right? Don't be the guy, oh my gosh, I wouldn't, I'll tell you what, the first time I invested some real money in myself, it was hard. But then after that, I did it a couple of times and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Like, I like investing in myself. I remember the first time I wrote a check for $25,000 to join Genius Network. Like, I'd never done anything like that before. The only time I've invested any money like that was into real estate. I wrote a check for $25,000 to invest in myself, y'all. One of the best things I ever did in my life, because not only did I get a great ROI on my investment, but I learned that I could now invest in myself. So I expanded my comfort zone. So I could write now a $25,000 check for myself. How cool is that? Let me take some of this water, by the way. Water, critically important. Hydration. It's not even one of these rules, but it should be. All right, I'm back. I had to chug some water there. Good stuff, y'all. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, personal growth. Invest in yourself. Benjamin Franklin says an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. An investment into yourself, friends. Okay. So number 9, we're moving along. We're moving along. Here's one of my favorites from Grant. This is the hard one, y'all. This is the hard one. Take responsibility. Wow. Take responsibility, man. And here's what he says: even if it's not your fault, take full responsibility, even if it's not your fault. Owning, hey, something happened, it's on me. My business is off right now, it's on me. I just got in an argument with somebody, it's on me. That conversation didn't go the way, yeah, that person was a jerk, but still my fault. I'm the professional. Right? I take full responsibility. As a matter of fact, I say that to people. I take full responsibility. You know, I remember Grant sharing how, he got in a car, like somebody hit the back of his car. Like he was sitting at a at a stop sign, and somebody crashed into the back of his car. This is a story that I heard um, from one of the salespeople, and somebody crashed in the back of the car, and they were talking to Grant, and Grant said, "That's my fault." I was like, "Well, how's it your fault?" He says, "Because I shouldn't have been sitting there in my car. I should have been somewhere else. So I take full responsibility for that. Because if I was somewhere else, they wouldn't have crashed in the back of my car." I'm like, wow, that's kind of next level thinking that you want to take responsibility for someone else crashing into the back of your car. It's kind of ironic. So there was a guy today, like I'm at a stop sign. I'm at a light, and there's a sign that says no turn on red. So the sign says no turn on red, but the guy's behind me, waving his hands on his horn. I'm like, dude, I'm like pointing to the sign. And the guy was just worked up, So I said, you know what? I just take full responsibility. This guy's got some issues, man. I'm just gonna smile. I waited for the light to turn green, and then I drove off. I said, I'll take responsibility because here I am sitting here. So anyway, take full responsibility, y'all. I'm telling you, it's a game changer. When something doesn't go your way, something's not going your way in your business, you take the responsibility. So I have some virtual assistants that work for me, and sometimes things don't go the way that I had intended for them to go. So now what I will tend to do is first get a little frustrated at them because they didn't do what I had intended. But then I realized before I get frustrated with them that it was me that gave them the instruction. So clearly I did not give good enough instruction so they actually understood what it was they were supposed to do. How's that? And I promise you that happens a lot. That happens a lot. So when I take full responsibility, that means I can now do something about it as opposed to not taking responsibility and then I become a victim. Okay, number 10, keep moving forward. All right, move forward, keep moving forward. Again, one of my favorites. I just keep moving. Things don't go the way I wanted them to. Hey, that was, you know what? I'm going back to number 3, attitude of service. I'm just trying to help. Okay. I'm a sales guy. I'm in sales. I help. I own a real estate brokerage. I do other things. My goal is to help, serve, bring value. Doesn't work out. You're not interested. Okay, cool. I'm gonna keep moving forward. I'm gonna go find someone else that is interested. It's consistency. It's perseverance. A lot of things just unfortunately don't go always the way we want them to go. As a matter of fact, I would say, I think what a lot of people think is like as you get more successful, things get easier. And I will tell you that as you get more successful, as things do not get easier, things actually get more challenging. So what's happening is you're just being tested, your leadership, right? Your consistency, your mindset, all of that, your perseverance is all being tested. Try running so I ran an office with 500 people for 2 years. I ran a team before that with 7 people. Do you think it was easier running the team or running the office? Not even close. But there was a there was a bigger reward with the office. So guys, again, we got to keep moving forward, being consistent, persevering, realizing that when challenges show up, hey, what can I do to keep moving forward and move beyond this? Success. Here's a quote from Winston Churchill. It says, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. The courage to continue. When things don't go the way you had planned, you continue forward. You may have been working, and maybe you're like me and you're in sales. I've been in sales for 37 years, so I've had a lot of things not go right. As a matter of fact, I would tell you that the most things don't go right. If you're a great salesperson, you can relate to that. The majority of the things you do not go right. Probably 20 to 25% of the things that, now listen, once you're in, obviously the things go right, like when somebody hires you, but I'm saying, if you're talking to 100 people, maybe 20 of them will do business with you. So that means 80 people just told you to go pound sand or have no interest in what you have, or they're just not interested, right? Whatever it is, you have to be able to keep moving forward with those 80 people saying no, 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 no. And you're moving forward to find the yes, 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 yeses. All right, let me jump to number 11, which is a prosperity attitude. All right, different than the other attitude of success. Okay, prosperity means I believe in myself. See, this one of the things I learned from Grant is Grant says the first sale you have to make is in yourself. Mm. You know, one of my favorite people in the world is Rock, The Rock. Like I am like the biggest fan of The Rock. I just think he's like the coolest human being in the world. Does that guy have confidence or what? Like, does The Rock have confidence? Of course he does. He has a pro an added like, and it's funny because we were talking about this last night with my daughters. Like, if The Rock didn't have confidence, he would just be a weirdo, right? The way he acts, but because he's so confident and because of the way he takes care of himself and the way he shows up and his physique and the way he's dressed, he gets to be The Rock because of his prosperity attitude. He has a life of abundance, and any of us can do that. All you got to do is believe in yourself. And, this is the Persistent Entrepreneur Podcast. So we're all business owners. We're all entrepreneurs. First step in when I meet with somebody, anybody, and the first step, the first thing we do is we say, okay, good. What is your value proposition? Like, what problem do you solve? And then I need you so sold on that you believe, like in real estate, I do not believe there's another, if in this area, like, I don't care who they're talking to. Nobody's going to be like, if you don't hire me, you drop the ball. That's my mindset when I'm meeting with sellers. Do you think the sellers pick up on that? Like, if somebody's looking for a business coach or somebody to come in and do a workshop for them, I'm the best. Like, you need, like, I've got a keynote next week. They have me coming downtown, the Marriott AC. It's amazing. They reached out to me. My first thought, I'll be honest, was like, how are they reaching out to me? Like, that's cool, right? Like, that's like a little tiny bit of doubt. And then I'm like, shit, of course they're reaching out to me. Of course they're reaching out to me. You understand what I'm saying? It starts within, right here, right here. It's a mindset of abundance. It's an attitude of prosperity, knowing your self-worth, believing in your product, believing in your service, believing in yourself. You have to have that self-belief first. Nobody's going to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. Nobody's going to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. All right, number 12. Number 12, consistency. Man, this is what I'm made of, consistency. This is my life, like consistency. Everything's about consistency for me. Just consistent. I keep showing up. Keep showing up. You know what I do before, like a little hack? So if I want to go to the gym in the morning, like I'm going to probably go anyway, but what I'll do is if I'm like, I don't know if I want to, maybe I'll work out from home tomorrow because I get a decent setup at home, but I like going to the gym. So what I'll do is I'll put my gym bag and all my clothes and everything in the car so that it's already set up in the car. So in the morning, it's easy. Okay. I prep, I prep my lunch the night before. I do all that. I look at my schedule the night before. So I know I've got appointments at this time, So I'm prepared so I can be consistent. I do my phone calls in the morning because I know if I don't do my phone calls in the morning, things like this will get in the way. Like this podcast I'm doing right now. Well, I wouldn't say it's getting away. I was interviewing another couple. I'm looking forward to rescheduling with them. Alex and Ani, Alex and Miriam. They're 10X coaches like me, and they did a 10X GrowthCon event in Dubai. Super, super cool. But anyway, they couldn't make it last minute. They had to cancel. So I said, you know what? I'm here at my studio. I'm gonna do something. So I've been wanting to do this 14 Rules of Success anyway for so long. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna do it. But I'll tell you what, consistency, man. We do a room on Clubhouse. It's a worship room every Sunday morning. Going on like 2.5 years. Still, you can join me. I mean, whenever you listen to this, if you're on Clubhouse, 9 a.m. Sunday morning, go to Breakfast with Champions. We're there. It's the only thing I do on Clubhouse now. Well, it's not true. I'm on Clubhouse right now. So, but listen, consistency, keep showing up 2.5 years, man. Since from doing that, I've got a better connection with God. I've got an awesome group of people that show up every week, all brothers, sisters, believers, followers of Christ. All that just from showing up. I'm better at praying. I'm better at connecting. I'm better at understanding the word. Just from keep showing up, consistency in my business. People, it's funny when people hear me make phone calls. They're like, wow, you're really, really good on the phones. You're really good on, like, when somebody gives you objections, you're good. Yeah, because I did 15 years of role playing 5 days a week. I'm not kidding. 15 years. Like, it was just part of my morning routine. Going back to where we started at the beginning, show up. All right, number 13 is go for failure. Go for failure. This is from Grant, okay? Learning to push through. Just being okay. So, somebody said, "Oh, no, no, I don't think so. Let me think about it." Okay, got it. No problem. I'll let you think about it. But I'm curious, what is it exactly that you want to think about? Like, just be okay asking again. It's like working out. Working out's a perfect example of this. When you like, if you ever been a weightlifter, when you just kind of there doing the motions, that I mean, trust me, if you fit, it'll keep you, depending on your diet, it will keep you at least at the same level. But if you want to get bigger and you want to get stronger, what do you have to do is you have to push through. Okay, like like when somebody's giving you a spot and you're like, oh man, and you're pushing, and that's when your muscles ripping, or you're doing biceps, and it's like, you can hardly get the bar up, and you can feel it in your bicep, right? That's when the mind, that's when you're growing and building the muscle. That's what we're talking about right now. Going for failure, pushing that extra little bit, maybe making that one extra call. This has happened to me so many times. At the end of the day, y'all, this is the Persistent Entrepreneur Podcast. At the end of the day, I'm like, this day, man, that's it. I'm leaving. And then you're like, you know what? I'll just wait one more call. Just make one more call, right? One more call. And then what happens is that's the good call. All of a sudden, something good happens. I got a lady call me. As a matter of fact, I got to call this lady back. For sale by owner. She called me back earlier. I got to give her a buzz when I wrap up on this call. I'm excited to talk to her. Right. But that's it. Just made that one extra call last night before I left the office. All right. And then number 14. This is the one I got from Gary Keller, which I wanted to incorporate. One of my favorites of all time: playing to win versus playing not to lose. Playing to win. Got it. By the way, guys, if you're on X, Facebook, make sure you give me a follow on my profile. We're going to be doing a lot more stuff like this. If you're on Clubhouse, right up on the top, just click on that link. Let's get connected on X. All right. This is one of my favorites: playing to win versus playing not to lose. This is about a mindset of winning, of not accepting anything less, not focusing on, well, geez, what if I miss out on that? No, this is like, I'm only looking for the best. Okay, I'm not going to work with the wasted time, unproductive clients that aren't going to or the focusing on somebody like, well, I kind of hope it pans out. A great example of this is real estate agents would relate to this. You got that buyer that no matter what you show them, right? They somehow sabotage the deal. Oh my, oh, that's not the right house, or there's always an excuse like why they can't do it. But then they want to see another one, and then all of a sudden you find them the perfect house, you get them under contract, and then they have an inspection, and then they kill the deal, right? And and you've just spent so much time with this person. Right. And this isn't every business. You've spent so much time and energy, and every time you just get frustrated. Right. And then all of a sudden you're like, I've had it. And then all of a sudden what happens? That person calls you again. It's like, hey, yeah, I want to go out and look at a property. And you're like, okay, yeah, I've already invested so much time. But instead of playing to win would be like, okay, no problem. Have you updated your pre-approval? When's the last time you got your approval? Now, this property, if we look at this property today and you love it, are you gonna buy it, or are you gonna back out like on the other three you did? Like, what's gonna be different this time? To me, that's playing to win. It's asking those types of deeper, committed questions. I don't want to waste any more time. Okay, I'm playing to win. I'm not playing not to lose. Anytime, oh my gosh, well, what if what if they buy a house with someone else and I miss out? Well, hey, you know what? It probably will happen, but I'm more commitment. I'm more concerned about my time commitment. I remember being in Gary's mastermind and he said to us once, he said, I'd rather miss out on a good one than waste too much time with a bad one. Think about that. I'd rather miss out on a good one than waste time with a bad one. Isn't that cool? So Grant says, dominate so much that they can never catch up. This is it. Like, yeah, like you see college, like some of you guys may watch college football or college, sometimes they run it up, right? You'll like see a college football game where the score is, 50-3 or something, right? Like they could have took it easy, but they didn't. So I'm telling you, I'm challenging you, I'm encouraging you. I want you to go into this new year, whenever you're listening to this, I just want you to dominate. I don't care what year it is right now. I want you to dominate. Get out there, dominate in your business. Take these 14 rules of success and absolutely dominate. There's no reason you can't. I'm going to go through them super quick with you right now, and then we are going to wrap this up, man. I just appreciate you guys being here, investing the time. If you want to learn anything more about me, check out my site, which is davidhill.ai. By the way, if you click on the first tab, you'll see my AI assistant. If you want information on my book, everything's there. Anything you want to know about my philosophies with sales and marketing, that is my version of Chat GPT. It's super cool. And then all the other stuff I got going on. All right. Rule number one is show up, y'all. We talked about that. You got to show up. If you don't show up, nothing else happens. Makes no difference. If you can't show up, don't even bother. Forget about it. You got to show up first. Starts the night before. Starts in the morning when your alarm clock goes off. Do not hit that snooze button. Show up. Number two, 100%. I want you to show up 100%, man. I want you having great breath. I want you shaved. I want you having the best dress on, the best suit, whatever it is. I want you showing with a big smile, ready to go, hydrated, good night's sleep. You have your caffeine or whatever. You are 100% ready to go. Number three, I want you to give attitude of service. You are there to serve. You're showing up because you come from contribution and you're there to serve. Number four, focus on your dreams. Y'all, write down your dreams, write your goals, write your targets. All right. Make sure you know where you're going. How could you get somewhere if you don't know where you're going? Right. Try driving across the country without a GPS. You're going to be lost. Without a map, you're going to be lost. You need your goals. You need your dreams. You need to write that stuff down. All right. Number five, exercise. Can't say enough about this one. Exercise. Take care of your body. Create some type of an exercise regimen for yourself, some type of a routine. Start small. Maybe you're doing nothing now. Then, hey, start going to the gym twice a week, 3 times a week. Start there. And what's going to happen is as you do more of that, it'll get easier and easier. And then you'll be more encouraged to go. All right. Number 6 is going to be food is fuel. Hey, let's just start working on our diet. I didn't say this earlier, but I have what's called the 80-20 in my diet, where 80% of the time I'm eating healthy. 80% of the time I'm eating healthy. 20% of the time, I'll have a cookie. I'll have something that's maybe not like, I don't eat fried food or anything like that, or very rarely. I mean, every once in a while, I guess, every couple of years but I'm really, really conscious about my diet. Super, super conscious. I drink tons of water, just really, really conscious. And I'll tell you what, food is fuel. Really, really important. Number 7, change your attitude. So focus on your self-talk. I want you to focus on positive self-talk, positivity, changing, getting rid of that negative chatter. Okay. Aligning yourself, putting yourself in situations where you're reading, journaling, being around positive people. All right. Number 8, personal growth. Again, read books, take courses, attend positive events, be around positive people, do positive things, study, go invest some money in yourself. Go invest something in yourself right now. All right. Personal growth is critically important. Number 9, take responsibility. This is a funny one. Talk to Grant. I take full responsibility on everything that happens to me, even if it's not my fault sometimes. Even if it's not my fault, I'm still going to take responsibility for it. That's how important it is. I take full responsibility. Because if I don't take responsibility, how can I do anything about it? The only way I can do anything about it is if I take responsibility. All right, number 10, keep moving forward. Y'all, just keep moving forward. Life's tough sometimes. Life sucks sometimes. People do things. People say things. People don't come through. People tell you they're going to do things and then they don't follow through. That's life. Keep moving forward. Realize it. Don't take it personal. Keep moving forward. Number 11, prosperity attitude. I want you to fix your attitude, find your belief in yourself. I want you consistent. I want you to believing in yourself. You are the best. Again, I like The Rock. I think about The Rock. I'm always looking like The Rock, man. He's just like the best. Like, if you can smell, like, how do you show? Like, that's how you show up, right? Like, that's how I show up, yo. I love it. Like, I want to find someone like that. Like that, the self-belief is just out of this world. Why not? What? Here's the question for you. Why not? Why would you not? You have a choice. You can show up with, oh yeah, just an average guy. You can show up like, you know what, man, I'm here. Man, I'm here. I got my big smile. Let's go. All right. Number 12, consistency. Just keep showing up. We keep showing up. Keep showing up. All right. Stick to it. Find a routine. Stick to it. Be exceptional. The average person does things for a little while and then they fall off. Be exceptional. Keep showing up. When everybody else has stopped, you keep showing up. You keep showing up. All right. Number 13, go for failure. Don't quit. Keep pushing through. All right. I want you to keep pushing through no matter how difficult it gets. Go for failure. Okay. Run it up if you have to. Go for failure. Okay. I don't care. They say no. I want you to say, okay, got it. Beyond the fact that you need to think about it, is there any other reason you're not willing to go forward right now? Okay, good. That's it. All right. So can I tell you the 3 things you're going to think about? Bang. Who cares? What's the worst thing they're going to say? They're probably going to say no to you anyway. When you follow up the next day, hey, it's me. I'm just following up. I'm just following up on what we talked about yesterday. Have you thought about it yet? Oh, yeah. Sorry. We decided. No, just go for it. You're going to impress them too. All right. And then number 14, final number 14 is playing to win versus playing not to lose. Y'all play to win. Show up to win. Forget about it, man. Stop playing small. Start playing big, guys. Start playing big with life. Now, here's what I'm going to challenge you to do. I want you to go watch this, journal, get your journal out, set up a routine for yourself, start working out, all the things we talked about. Find somebody that you like. For me, like I've studied a rock. I check out. I like all of his stuff. Find someone that you look up to like that. Maybe it's The Rock. Maybe it's Oprah. Maybe it's, I don't know, Tom Brady. Maybe it's Taylor Swift. Whoever it is, I don't care. Find somebody that you're like, man, I love what they're up to. They are like bigger than this world, and emulate them and say, study them. That's what I love doing. Yo, appreciate you listening to this, the Persistent Entrepreneur Podcast. We are bringing you business owners, leaders, entrepreneurs. We're going to share They're going to share amazing stories with you guys. They're going to tell you about some of the challenges they've gone through, the things that didn't work, the things that did work, and how they lived these 14 rules that I just shared with you. Appreciate you investing, living. Appreciate you investing. I do appreciate you living, because yes, if you weren't, you wouldn't be listening to this. But I do appreciate you investing your time here. And make sure we connect on social, by the way. And if you would go down and give me a review, that would be amazing. If you give me a review, and then if you know any entrepreneurs, like we just had Victor Gonzin on. He is an entrepreneur out of Chicago. He builds porches. Like, guy built $1 million business, $1 million annual business building porches. So you just never know, guys. So if you know anybody that you think would be a great fit for the show, reach out, let me know, give me some feedback. Appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your day and implement these 14 rules of success.